Hello everyone, welcome to the channel and the new video. EduYou Academy is starting with a series of videos on case problems and guesstimate questions that are asked in consulting interviews at all the top-notch firms. This is the first video of the series and will be followed by many such videos in the coming days. So let's quickly begin with the case of the day. But before that, please know that all these cases that we discuss in these videos have all been asked in the MBB interviews. Here's the case. MySjet is a low-cost airline operator in India. Over the last 3 years, it has been incurring losses and burning a lot of cash. Diagnose and recommend solutions. Now let's discuss how to approach this case. Important note, this is not a guesstimate question, so we cannot rely on assumptions without clarity on certain aspects. We need to know a little bit of high-level information, analyze the case, and provide logical recommendations which can be implemented. So let's deep dive into the case without any further ado. First, we need more information on the airline operator, the kind of flight it flies, whether only direct or connecting flights, the routes on which they operate, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 cities, the competitors operating within the same segment, that is of the low-cost carrier segment, and the revenue and the cost evolution in the last 3 years, whether the trend has been increasing or decreasing. Once we have this bit of information, we can proceed with the process of breaking down our revenues and the cost components. From a cost perspective, we can split using fixed and variable cost approach as well as the value chain approach. Though the value chain approach is exhaustive, but in our case, we will consider the fixed and the variable cost approach. Now, fixed and variable costs can also be further broken down. Now, from these subsets, we have to understand which part is causing the cash burn. For example, is it the hangar costs? Have the salaries gone up? Or is there excessive fuel consumption happening for the same distance traveled? Then we break down our revenue numbers into various categories of ticket sale revenues, transportation or cargo revenues, as well as hospitality revenues. Now we will try to understand the reason for declining the revenues. So we look deeper into the components that make up the ticket sale revenues. And why only ticket sale revenues? Because on an average, 75% of the revenues of each and every carrier comes from ticket sale revenues. Upon diving deeper, we see the reason for the drop can either be high fares or low occupancy rates. Hence, we need answers to a few more questions to analyze the case further. How have the occupancy rates been? Have they been falling of late? Have new routes been added or the fleet size of the company has increased? Which part of the cost component has increased? And if it has it increased for the industry or just the company that we are concerned with? Or has there been any extraordinary cost that has hit the bottom line? Does the operator own aircrafts? Is commuting to the airport a pain for the passengers? Once we have answers to all these questions, we can go back to the process and start looking at the end-to-end customer journey to understand where the bottlenecks are. We break down the occupancy rates further, trying to understand whether the commute to the airport is an issue or the airport procedures are an issue, whether the flight ticket booking process is simple or complicated, is there a hassle-free luggage collection facility for passengers at destination airports, and how is the overall flying experience. After having analyzed these nitty-gritties, we need to provide our implementable recommendations to the interviewer. Make sure to not suggest any drastic changes to the interviewer without having a solid reason for the same with proper explanations. You can also create a flow chart or a value grid which will make it easier for you to analyze the case, find where the bottlenecks are, and accordingly provide your implementable recommendations. Just like you can see on the screen, this is a flow chart for the case that we have currently analyzed on the video. And here, you can also find a breakdown of the value chain approach for cost analysis. With that, we come to the end of this case solving video. Hope you guys like the content. There'll be many such cases discussed here in the forthcoming days. In case you feel I missed certain factors or certain aspects in solving this case, please comment and provide your suggestions. I'll keep your suggestions in mind while bringing other cases to you in the future. Also, please subscribe to the channel and follow us on LinkedIn for instant updates on whenever we put up something worthy for you to watch. Till then, goodbye, take care, Jai Hind.